Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Before we talk charts and strategies, we have to talk about the brain behind every single trade. This is Trade Brain. Have you ever been like watching a chart? Maybe you weren't even in a trade. Maybe you were in a trade and it was going in your favor, but you got this like overwhelming sense that something really bad was about to happen. I remember the first time I ever experienced this, I was in a trade. It was literally going in my favor. It's like this sense of anxiety and like this feeling that something really bad was about to happen. It literally just washed over me. And so I had to ask myself, like, what is happening? Because I'm not in danger, nothing is going wrong. The trade is going in my favor. But like, I just felt this really, strong gut feeling that something bad was about to happen. What I know now, though, is that that is our body, right? That is our brain and our nervous system sensing danger. And it is literally not excitement. It's not a good feeling. But yeah, it's not excitement at all. That is our body's response to perceived danger. And I just really remember thinking, like, why do I have such intense emotions right now when the market is actually agreeing with me? It's literally, it's just a trade, right? It can't jump out and hurt me. It's literally a trade. It's the stock market, it's the ticks on the chart. But yeah, I felt this like overwhelming sense that something terrible was about to happen. But yeah, so our brains, for us, it's just a trade, but to our brains, it's way deeper than that. And yeah, our brains, they don't just see it as, just a trade. They perceive danger, and that causes problems. We're going to get into that. When your money is on the line, your brain is not just clocking the numbers, right? It sees safety, it sees security, it sees control. And when any of those things are threatened, it's up. Your brain is going to sound the alarm. We'll talk about the amygdala in a later video, but basically your brain is going to activate that amygdala, and then it's going to trigger a full-on stress response, which is going to throw you into survival mode. In survival mode, that is your brain's emergency response system. Think about the cavemen, like back in the day, right? This was designed to keep us safe and to keep us alive. And so that same mechanism, it still lives in all of us. It's built in. And so where we see the market and we see candlesticks, our brain actually flags it and perceives it as danger. And that's why we see survival mode so often in trading. And yeah, your brain, it's evolved over thousands and thousands of years, but its main job is to protect you from physical danger. So when risk shows up, right, especially financial risk, our brain is only asking, are we safe? And if that answer is uncertain in any capacity, your nervous system is going to be activated. Your body literally prepares to fight, flight, or freeze. And this is where a lot of traders get confused, because survival mode, it's not always this big dramatic crash out, right? For traders, sometimes that looks like cutting your winners too early, or letting your losses go too long. Or maybe you just feel really impulsive and you just start clicking around just to relieve the tension, not because there's a setup that's within your strategy, but you're just, entering trades to relieve that tension of the uncertainty. And these are not all necessarily just bad habits. These are survival behaviors. And yeah, when survival mode is activated, again, our brains are rerouting those resources away from like our logic and our planning and our reasoning. All those resources, all that energy goes to survival, right? All that goes to protection and keeping you physically safe. And that's why you can know your trading rules, you can know your trading plan, and you can completely abandon them in the moment under the pressure and the stress of the market. Logic doesn't just disappear, it just gets overridden. So if you've ever had that feeling after a position and you're like, I don't know what happened, something came over me, now you know exactly what happened. Your brain wasn't malfunctioning, there's literally nothing wrong with you. Your body is operating in the way it was designed to. And that's to protect you from perceived danger. Like, our brains literally, when we look at the market and we get that feeling of like anxiety or that the perceived danger, right? It's no different than coming face to face with like an apex predator in the wild, right? It's activating those same systems. And we know the market is not a lion, but our brains cannot make that distinction. And that's also why, like, you really don't want to tell traders to just control their emotions, because some of the stuff we're not actually in control of. This is our hardwiring. And you really can't reason yourself out of survival mode. You have to learn how to regulate through it. And until your body feels safe enough to let that happen, your trading plan does not stand a chance. And this is the foundation of everything we're going to go over in this series. This is Trade Brain. Discipline, consistency, impulse control, none of these things can come online when your nervous system perceives a threat. And that's why the real skill that traders need is not prediction, right? Charts and everything are important, so important. Charts, strategy, all of those things are super important, but the biggest thing in order to be able to follow that stuff is regulation. So yeah, next time you're in a trade and you start to feel anxious, You know, don't ask yourself what's wrong. You know, what's wrong with me? It's not about that. It's about what part of your brain just took over. And once you understand survival mode, the symptoms and the way it manifests in our bodies, it's not going to feel so foreign, and it's going to feel a lot more manageable. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're vibing with my content, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will keep them coming.